Since the introduction of the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) by the United Nations in 2015, there has been a global focus on sustainable development, with SDG 5 including the strengthening of gender equality as a goal. The importance of women leaders has increased, as has the focus on gender issues affecting women and women leaders. Women leaders are seen as contributing to innovation and decision-making and achieving diversity in the workplace. However, women face various challenges in securing leadership roles and encounter limited opportunities for advancement, including gender bias. This integrative review examines the external and internal factors that women leaders face in their careers within their organizations. Based on management and sociological research literature, it identifies the gender-related issues that women tend to face and how gendered organizations affect women's careers as leaders. Recent years, despite efforts to promote career diversity, gender discrimination persists in leadership roles. Men are more likely to benefit from the glass escalator when it comes to male leadership and careers, as they are traditionally stereotyped as leaders. The glass escalator is thought to favor men in their leadership careers in much the same way as it does in organizations dominated by women. This phenomenon can be attributed to societal expectations and stereotypes regarding gender roles and leadership. According to the social role theory of gender, men are traditionally associated with leadership positions and are expected to exhibit authoritative or transactional leadership styles. Authoritarian leadership, commonly used by men, is seen as socially acceptable and aligned with traditional male gender roles. On the other hand, transactional leadership, while utilized by both genders, may be perceived as more masculine. Consequently, the stereotype of men as leaders is reinforced, linking successful leadership with male attributes. As a result, men often face fewer obstacles in their career advancement compared to women. They are more likely to attain higher positions and salaries, benefiting from the perceived alignment between their gender and leadership roles. This reinforcement of gender stereotypes further discourages women from pursuing leadership roles, perpetuating the gender gap in leadership positions. In the realm of women's leadership and career trajectories, women encounter pervasive gender biases and stereotypes distinct from those experienced by men. Specifically, these biases manifest in two organizational forms: first-generation biases, which are consciously engineered by society and organizational structures, and second-generation biases, characterized by subtle and elusive forms of unequal treatment. For instance, conscious biases are fueled by gender stereotypes that influence remuneration and advancement opportunities, resulting in discriminatory practices. Conversely, unconscious biases stem from societal norms that shape workplace dynamics, erecting imperceptible hurdles that favor male counterparts. These biases are ingrained from the moment a woman enters an organization and persist until her retirement. To ascend into leadership roles and advance in their careers, women must surmount the glass ceiling. This metaphorical barrier is symbolic of the gendered impediments crafted by societal constructs, posing initial challenges to women aspiring for leadership roles. Failure to breach this barrier consigns women to remain entrenched on the metaphorical sticky floor. The stages depicted in the figure illustrate the career trajectories of female leaders, influenced by pervasive gender bias and stereotypes. As an external factor, women persistently encounter leadership prototypes and biases even after glass ceiling breakthroughs. They confront selection biases, wherein men are favored for leadership positions, perpetuating the notion that men equate to leaders, while women are relegated to non-leadership roles. Moreover, women are pressured to adhere to traditional gender norms, facing repercussions for deviation, resulting in phenomena like double bind, backlash, limited leadership development, and the queen bee syndrome. Consequently, women navigate the labyrinth and complexities, contending with their impact on relationships and career paths. Ultimately, despite successful leadership, women may confront the glass cliff phenomenon. This entails being placed in leadership roles during organizational crises, leading to the think crisis, think female trend. Success in steering the organization out of turmoil validates its leadership prowess, yet failure to do so may evoke criticism grounded in gender stereotypes. Thus, women leaders contend with intentional bias, perpetually required to validate their leadership competencies. Conversely, as an internal factor, ingrained gender biases and stereotypes prompt women to internalize limiting beliefs, constraining career choices. Even after a glass ceiling triumphs, women endure pressure to outperform male peers to justify their leadership status, inducing anxiety and stress that hamper performance. External factors further contribute to the internalization of gender stereotypes, fostering a self-perpetuating cycle wherein women accept discrimination based on gender norms. This internalization impairs women's self-esteem, self-efficacy, and leadership acumen, particularly in male-dominated fields, exacerbating biases against women in career progression and undermining their potential. In conclusion, this integrated model underscores several key points. First, gender biases and stereotypes pervade organizational structures from inception, enduring across career stages. Second, organizations often exhibit a masculine bias, reinforcing the perception of men as default leaders. Third, both external and internal factors stemming from gender stereotypes permeate not only women's leadership and careers, but also their self-perception, adversely impacting their success. Thus, challenging gender stereotypes in leadership realms is imperative to empower women leaders and mitigate the negative ramifications of external and internal factors, fostering their career success. Organizations play a critical role in addressing the gender biases and stereotypes that challenge women leaders. Several organizational policies and practices are suggested to break the vicious cycle that impedes women's advancement and foster supportive environments, as shown in the figure. First, organizations should address both first and second-generation gender bias. While strides have been made in combating first-generation biases, attention to second-generation biases, which begin upon entry into the organization, is imperative. Redesigning the hiring and selection process with training for HR personnel to recognize and mitigate second-generation biases is crucial. Implementing fair and objective criteria in assessments can counter the effects of bias and stereotyping. Furthermore, conducting training programs for both genders to raise awareness of unconscious biases is essential for career advancement. Second, it is important to increase the number of women in top management positions. Research indicates that having a minimum of 2 female directors or comprising at least 20% of the board with women reduces gender segregation. Increased female leadership fosters an inclusive environment, with 3 or more female directors normalizing the presence of women and encouraging their active participation. Third, organizations should build women's confidence through self-development and skill building to counter internalized gender stereotypes. Offering tailored leadership development programs, establishing mentorship schemes with accomplished female leaders as role models, and facilitating networking opportunities can enhance women's leadership skills. Ensuring equal access to leadership development opportunities for women vis-a-vis men can bolster their confidence, self-esteem, and self-efficacy, thereby fostering a virtuous cycle where internal factors positively impact external outcomes. Lastly, it is important to help women leaders choose appropriate leadership styles. Due to second-generation biases, women may feel compelled to adopt masculine leadership styles, constraining their authenticity. Encouraging women leaders to embrace leadership styles aligned with their strengths, rather than conforming to traditional norms, empowers them to flourish authentically, unencumbered by gender expectations.